Hey guys, sorry for the creepy man in the shadows look here, but I realized as I was editing this video that I totally forgot to do an intro into our video. So you have no idea what I'm talking about until a minute or two into it. So I thought I would just go ahead and throw something up now. This is a video about the best sword fights of all time in movies. Um, I don't know why, but recently I've just been watching a lot of movies that have sword fights in them. So as I was writing down my list of shows I wanted to do, this one kind of crept to the top. So that's what this show is about. I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so taking the number 5 slot this week is The Princess Bride. It's a fun, lighthearted, romantic comedy directed by Robert Reiner, a role he does really well, and written originally by William Goldman, and then he wrote the screenplay. Our two characters that are fighting here are Inigio and the Man in Black, and it's the first time they've met, and while they have an instant liking for each other and an instant respect, they know that they have to cross swords. All the masters that they talked about while they're dueling were actual masters of the 14th and 16th century. And both actors took extensive fencing classes. So both did all their fight sequences. There are a few sequences that you'll see in there where they're doing flips and jumps, and those were stunt doubles. But when swords actually crossed, that was all the actors. Okay, coming in at number 4 is The Prisoner of Zenda. It's a 1937 film directed by John Cromwell, starring Ronald Colman and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Originally, Fairbanks wanted the lead role of Razendale, but when he got Hessenthal as the supporting character, he ran away with the role. It's a much more interesting character, and it gives them an opportunity to show off that real roguish nature that he has. The end fight sequence between Coleman and Fairbanks is brilliant because the two are just such strong actors. It sets the groundwork for what crossing swords would be for decades to come, in that there's witty banter, there's great sword play, great camera work, and the whole fight sequence is a really tight-knit sequence. Definitely worth checking out. So going from 1937 to 2000 is a movie we've all probably seen, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, directed by Ang Lee. This movie set all kinds of records when it came to the States. It was the first foreign film to earn more than $100 million at the US box office, and it stands as the most nominated foreign film of all time. The fight scene we're talking about here is Yushu Lin versus Jen Yu. Okay, this is a phenomenal fight scene, beautifully choreographed. They use all kinds of weaponry, mostly swords, but how seamlessly they integrated different fighting styles and different types of swordplay is really phenomenal and really worth checking out. An interesting side note is that for a Chinese film, all of the weapons you see in the movie were made in Taiwan. Ang Lee lives in Taiwan, and his neighbor is a weapons designer, and he made all the weapons for the movie. So, coming in at number 2 is The Duelist. It's a 1977 film directed by young Ridley Scott, and it has all the trappings of one of his films. It's set in Napoleon's France, and it follows two young officers played by Harvey Keitel and Keith Carradine who have an all-consuming hate for each other, and they live and they die by the sword. So obviously a movie like this had to make it into our show today. Scott had almost no budget for this movie, so everything that he shot already existed, and so it's really unlike The Gladiator and Robin Hood, which so much of it is CG and graphics and after production work. William Hobbs did the choreography for this movie. He's done the choreography for movies like Shakespeare in Love, The Three Musketeers, 1991's Robin Hood, and The Count of Monte Cristo. In this movie, the two worked together, Ridley Scott and William Hobbs, to put together some of the finest fencing scenes in cinematic history. Especially Harvey Keitel's character has some really beautiful duels where the camera work is just exquisite. So my number 1 favorite sword fight film of all time is the 1995 film Rob Roy. It stars Liam Neeson as McGregor and Tim Roth as Cunningham. William Hobbs again did the choreography for this movie, as he did The Duelist at number 2. And Roger Ebert describes the final fight sequence as one of the best of its kind ever. And he's right there. It pits McGregor against Cunningham, and the whole movie, Cunningham has really been screwing with McGregor. So at this point, you're really gunning for Neeson's character. In this role, Neeson is huge. They actually put him on a stand, and they lowered the other actors to exaggerate the difference in size, and you can really tell in this final fight sequence. They put a broadsword in Neeson's hand, and it works perfectly, even though the broadsword hadn't been used in that area for about 100 years. And as the two go at it, you can tell the tension and the hate and how much they despise each other is all wrapped in there in that fight scene. And the two of them acted out perfectly. I won't tell you how it turns out, but it's a beautifully shot scene and really worth looking over. Well, there you have it. That's my top 5 favorite sword fight scenes of all time. At number 5, we had The Princess Bride. At number 4, we had The Prisoner of Zedna. Number 3 was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Number 2 was The Duelist. And coming in at number 1 again was Rob Roy. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me comments. Leave your suggestions for what the top 5 best sword fights of all time were.